I'm thinking about changing my channel name. You know, getting away from the app and the apple cider. Well, apple cider on this channel, after my main channel. I don't know. I'm starting a new channel soon, and maybe it's time for a fresh start. But until then, what's going on, y'all? My name is App, and welcome back to the junkyard. And App's not my real name, by the way, in case you guys are wondering. If you didn't know that, but I mean, frankly, no one knows anything, really. That's kind of what I want to talk about, is how everyone pretends they know stuff, and no one really does. I mean, obviously, there's, like, in passing, like, yeah, I know, that guy. Like, oh, yeah, that guy who, works the counter at the gym. Yeah, I know who that guy, I know that guy. But, like, you don't know him. And it's like, I mean, I bring this up more in a sense of, like, oh, yeah, ooh, excuse me. Oh, yeah, I know what's going on, what to do here. No one really knows what to do. There's kind of like, everyone just guesses what to do. And, like, maybe based on their past experience from this, that, and third, maybe they think they know, but you don't really know anything, and I don't really know anything at the end of the day. But people want to walk around all the time like they know everything, like their shit don't stink, and they know more than everyone else. And, including me, frankly, I do this too. I think everyone is, victim of this, really. And I don't mean, like, basic stuff, like, yeah, I know who that guy is, I know my name, I know, my birth certificate says my name, and I know, I like the Lions, and I know that girl's hot. Like, that's, like, not, like, you know, it's like, it's kind of just, like, a thing that is, if that makes sense. But, I mean, like, people who act like, people who think they're smart, people that think they know what's going on about something. No one really knows what's going on, like, ever, I've noticed. And people mostly just guessing and hoping they're right. And I do this too. I think everyone does this, really. To an extent, at the very least. But even professionals who are, like, their whole job is to, like, learn stuff and, like, know stuff, they don't really know either. And you see stuff like that. You know what actually inspired this? This idea was, well, one, me not knowing something that I thought I knew. But two, the bigger inspiration, seeing the NFL draft grade on Jahmyr Gibbs. Go Lions, by the way. Jahmyr Gibbs, if you guys aren't familiar with the NFL or football, Jahmyr Gibbs is an NFL running back for the Detroit Lions. And in the NFL draft, there's 7 rounds, 200 something picks. Guys get picked from college. They play college football and they get drafted in the NFL. And there's this thing in football called positional value, which basically means how replaceable is this position? And, like, as you may guess, quarterback is the most valuable position in football. Hardest to replace. There's only one of them on the field, and they have the most control over what's going on in the game. Generally. Let me handle this creeper. Generally have the most control over what's going to happen in a game, because they have the ball in their hands every time. And one of the positions with the lowest positional value is the running back. Okay? At least that's what people say. Because running backs normally have a lower shelf life. Their prime doesn't last as long as a player like a quarterback or a wide receiver or an offensive lineman. And they're more replaceable. There's more serviceable running backs than there are at any other position, and at any other position, really. Higher percentage of serviceable running backs than any other position, which is really all you need most of the time. But so when it comes to the NFL draft, no matter how good a running back is, they rarely, unless they're like a generational prospect, seen as a generational prospect, they normally go late first round, early second round at the best. And in, what was the year even? 2023, I think? Whatever year Jahmyr Gibbs was drafted in. In the Jahmyr Gibbs draft year, there was 2 running backs who were really good. Jahmyr Gibbs, of course, and Bijan Robinson. And at the time, Bijan Robinson was seen as the better running back of the 2. And people projected him to go, mid-first round, around 15. There's 32 picks in the first round. Expect him to go like mid-first round, 15th, 16th, 17th overall, around that range. He ends up going, I believe, 8th overall to the Falcons. I know it was top 10 for sure. 8th overall to the Atlanta Falcons. Whoa! That's way earlier than we thought, but he's really good at playing running back, so, you know, maybe, you know, it's a worthwhile swing. Not that crazy, but whoa, we didn't expect a running back to go that early in the big 2023, I think. And then we move on. In that draft, the Detroit Lions had a 6th overall draft pick. Okay? And they traded back with the Arizona Cardinals to the 12th overall pick, and they also got like a 2nd round pick as well. But they moved from the 6th overall pick in the draft back to 12. Okay? And the Arizona Cardinals took offensive lineman Paris Johnson, in case you guys are wondering. And the Detroit Lions select at 12 overall Jahmyr Gibbs. And at the time, it was seen as a terrible draft pick. Most professional draft analysts are saying this is a bad pick. Should have went early 2nd round, late 1st round in almost a reach situation. The Lions are coming off a 9-8 season. The Lions aren't there yet to be making moves like this. This trade, or this draft pick, is graded an F, which is the worst, of course, if you guys didn't know. I say stuff like that, and I don't really know what goes on in other countries at school grading, so, you know, gotta clarify. F is the worst. F, D, which is the 2nd worst. I know, they skip E. That's just how they do it over here, I guess. F grade, D grade, anything you can think of as bad grade. This is the worst pick of the draft, pretty much, what people are saying about Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, fast forward, what, 3 years later, 4 years later, Jahmyr Gibbs is maybe the best running back in the entire NFL, and is the best player on, I know they haven't performed super well, one of the best football teams in the NFL. So it shows how much they know, am I right? Jeez. Jahmyr Gibbs, this past week, on Thursday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys, tied the record for most touchdowns in NFL history under the age of 24, with 47 touchdowns. And he came to the league at like 21. The person he just passed most recently is Randy Moss, the 2nd best wide receiver of all time, in most people's opinion. And the person he's now tied with, Barry Sanders, the most people's opinion, best running back to ever play football. And that was a D draft grade. A D. D for dumbass. Why would you pick him so early, dumbass? That's what it stands for, I've heard. I know that's what it stands for. Wouldn't that be funny? If I just started saying, yeah, I know that thing is, I know what I'm saying is true. Even though the whole point of this video is to say no one knows anything, no one really knows anything. Professional draft analyst gave Jahmyr Gibbs' draft pick a D grade. Can you believe that? Imagine if your whole job is to tell people how good they're doing at their job, and you can't even do that right. That's basically what happened. And then we drafted another guy, Jack Campbell, 18th overall. I don't remember what the grade was on it, but I remember it being considered a bit of a reach, a bad pick and a reach. He was supposed to go mid-2nd round, we took him 18th overall, mid to late 1st round. That was a bit of a reach. He's maybe the best linebacker in football now. Maybe I'm a little bit biased in that, but I think right now he is the best linebacker in football. But just basically that whole story, based on true events, and by based on true events, I mean this really happened in real life. Yes, I think. It just my roundabout way of saying no one really knows anything. And I mean, another example kind of is I like arguments, like debates with my dad over sports a lot because he has very different opinions than me. But then he'll say like an opinion. I'm not gonna like give any of his opinions out. But he'll like say something that I'm like, no one agrees with that. Right? No one agrees with that. But he thinks it. And he's very confident based on what he sees when he's watching the games. I'm like, no one else thinks that. But you know, who knows? Maybe he's right. I don't know. Maybe everyone else is wrong. That's possible. We've seen at the draft. I remember, not to toot my own horn, stroke my own dick here. When we drafted Jahmyr Gibbs, I was very happy because this is a little bit of a random reason. We had this running back DeAndre Swift, who I was a big fan of, and then gradually started to not like because of the way he plays, because he plays like an idiot. He does not know how to look down the field, does not run north-south, runs east-west, and gets himself tackled when he's way behind where he should be. But I want us to replace him already. And then, in the draft, separately, I was a big fan of Jahmyr Gibbs as a prospect already. And I didn't think there was any chance the Lions were going to take him, frankly. I don't know. I'm going to take a picture over here, by the way. I didn't think there was any chance of the Lions taking him, frankly. But I was a big fan of Jahmyr Gibbs because I was a big fan of Alvin Kamara. And because his rookie year, I had him in fantasy football, and he popped off for me, and I went to the championship. I think I lost the championship that year, but I went to the championship that year. I was like, this guy's awesome. And then everyone's comparing Jahmyr Gibbs to Alvin Kamara out of the draft. Is it Kamara or Kamara? Whatever. Everyone's comparing Jahmyr Gibbs to Alvin Kamara out of the draft. So I'm like, ooh, let's freaking go, Jahmyr Gibbs. Let's freaking go. He's the best. Now he's on the Lions. Let's go. I need to get him in fantasy football. That's what I was thinking. But I wasn't really thinking about the fact that, it was a reach. I was just like, oh, one of my favorite prospects in the draft is now on my favorite team. This is freaking sick. Let's go. And we're replacing Swift finally. Let's go. Win-win. And I mean, I've had a really good draft that year too. Hopefully the Lions can turn around this year. They might be taking a step in the right direction. They're 8-5 now. Hopefully we can sneak into the playoffs. Once you get into the playoffs, anything can happen. We saw it last year. The Lions had 15 wins last year and got blown out in the first game. And not knocked out. We'll see what happens. Thank you guys for watching. I know this video is titled like, I don't know anything and you don't either, or something like that. And I am just talking about the Lions for 10 minutes. Well, I hope you guys got something out of it at least. Just remember, you're not as smart as you think you are, and neither is anyone else around you. Everyone's just going off the best they can think of, the best they know, the best of their knowledge, the best they can do. Is really what everyone's living off of, and not really anything like fully concrete, in my opinion. Everyone's ever evolving. Like Kevin Durant said, we all betas then. In reply to someone saying a beta is like something that's still in development. We all betas then. But thank you guys for watching. I might change my username relatively soon. I'll probably talk about it on here again before it actually happens, frankly. But we'll see what happens there. If you guys have any ideas for usernames too, by the way, let me know in the comments. I go scrolling through NameMC. They have a tab called Names where it's like Minecraft usernames that about to become available. And I was looking through some of them on my stream today, twitch.tv/coolguyapp. As of right now, it is. And I was like, I found a few that like, there's like Swaggerers, which was cool. Can I type in this? No, I can't. Swaggerers, which was a cool one. And Jacklights, I was like, that's a cool one. Jacklights. And then or no, it's Jacklight. Jacklight, that's a cool one. And then there was one other one that my good buddy Buga ended up taking for his Minecraft now account. Pro Drugs. I thought it said Prod Rug at first. Prod Rug. But then I was like, oh, that's just Pro Drug. And then Buga just threw an S on the end and became Pro Drugs. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll become Jacklight soon. Maybe I'll become Chadlight soon. How about that? Any looks backers in the comments? I'm just joshing. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys all next week. Probably, unless I forget to do it again.